From Lamarck, Texas. We are going to be talking to CASA of Galveston County on KHEA this morning. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Maybe you've heard of CASA before. It's a nonprofit, and we're going to learn everything they do. I'm going to kick it on the FM. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. My name is Gardy. I have some guests in studio, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and we're going to learn everything that they have going on.
Great. Thank you for having us this morning. I appreciate it. My name is Erin Cohen, and I am the Recruitment, Training, and Communications Director for CASA of Galveston County.
Good morning. My name is Mickey House. I am an advocate volunteer, and this is about my 3-year anniversary I think I had last month.
So that's a while, about 3 years, huh?
Yes, sir.
Before you became an advocate, how much did you know about CASA?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Literally nothing.
So we're going to get into that, like, hey, what you learned in these 3 years. First, let's learn what is CASA of Galveston County.
Great. So CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate. And CASA, well, our mission is really to provide trained community volunteers who are appointed by the court, who advocate for the best interest of children who have experienced abuse or neglect and have been removed from their home. And really, we are advocating for 3 main areas of a child's life. We're really advocating for their best interest in three main areas. First and foremost, we are advocating for permanency. Where is this child going to be set up for success, a successful future, a happy, safe life? Whenever healthy and a safe option, we're advocating for family reunification. We hope that our goal is for them to be reunified with their biological parent or parents once everyone has taken the proper steps towards that. That is always our priority. Secondly, we're advocating for a child's medical needs. A lot of times, oftentimes, when a child is in the foster care system or has come from, an unhealthy home or background, a lot of things slip through the cracks medically, their needs. When is the last time they've been to the doctor or the dentist, or are they on the proper medications? Are they on too many medications? Things like that. And thirdly, we're advocating for their educational needs. Again, what maybe has slipped through the cracks over the years? Are they on par for their grade level? How are they doing socially in school? Things like that. So an advocate like Mickey may go meet with a guidance counselor or speak to a teacher or things like that, and figure out how they're doing in school. We're really there as a consistent, stable presence in a child's life. When they don't have that, when they don't have a lot of stable, consistent adult role model figures in their life, and to kind of facilitate and nurture these healthy relationships.
If some of these kids didn't have an advocate, who would be looking out for them? Is there not? I mean, the foster parent, or who would be that person? I guess.
So they are in a foster placement. So depending on the age of the child, they could be with a foster family, or some of our older youth are in a residential treatment center. They have a CPS social worker who they're under the care of the CPS usually. They have attorneys, but really all of those individuals have lots and lots of children that they are responsible for.
And some of them, it's their job. It seems like, and they probably are passionate about what they do, but it's your job. It's what you get paid for.
And they have a very large portfolio of children that they have to keep track of, whereas our CASA volunteers are working with one child or one sibling group, depending on the situation, and that is the focus, the total focus of their attention is on this one child, and we can give them that extra undivided attention that they are not receiving from anyone else.
How long have you been with CASA?
So I have been with CASA since February 2020, mid-February.
So that's a different shift What kind of work were you doing? Related work before, or was it a different?
So I've been in the working in various nonprofits for 15, 16 years.
Okay.
But this is my first time working in this line of work, doing recruitment and training for CASA has been. It's just been incredible. I would say the staff that we have, the volunteers that we have are just so extraordinary, and I've just loved every moment of it. Even though we've had to shift gears and rework things and kind of rethink the way we are doing things in the pandemic world that we've all been having to live in for the last year and a half, we have really become more creative and innovative in the way we are doing things, and it works. No matter what is going on in our environment and in our community, the work of CASA never stops, and it doesn't matter what is happening, pandemic or no pandemic. Our children need us, and we are serving children regardless, and now more than ever, I would say.
Right.
And we have to make it happen.
And then we're going to talk about that. How has COVID and the changes in the world that have come, how has that affected CASA? First, let's talk to Mickey a little bit and find out, why did you get involved? What did you know about CASA before you got involved? How long did you say you've been an advocate?
I've been an advocate for 3 years now. October was my anniversary. And one of my high school teachers had posted about it on her Facebook. And I knew nothing about it beforehand. And I was like, oh, that looks interesting. And so, on the website, it has that, request more info. So I just put my name in, and I was like, oh, they'll get to me when they'll get to me. And at the time, I had 2 jobs. I was a full-time student. It was the summer. So, you work as much as you can while you have that summer break. And they had reached out to me, and I was like, oh, the next day. And I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting you to get back so quickly.
Yeah.
And I was telling them, she was like, oh, why don't you come on in and, we could talk to you. I was like, well, I'm sorry, but I have 2 jobs that I'm going to school full time. And she was like, we can work with it. And now it's been 3 years.
Yeah. So your first, you get in the door, you're learning about this. How did you feel? Did you know anything about what goes on, I guess, until you saw it firsthand?
I did not. I had just a little bit. My dad's a Tech City police officer, so I know a little bit about what goes on out there, but never to this depth or all the details that I've seen. Being an actual volunteer and being in the courtrooms and being in the meetings and things like that. How
much time does it take? That you dedicate? Is it every week, weekly, every other week? How much time does it take with your volunteering?
So I'm not that great at time management, so I like to keep mine. I'm a college student, so I work in the wee hours of 3 a.m. That's when I'm I need to send this email, but I need to send it in the morning because I don't want them sending emails at 1 a.m.
Yeah. Do you put a time thing on it? I saw a hack the other day. It was send your emails at 6 a.m. But you can type them at 1 or 2 and be like, hey, wait to send this at 6. It looks like I'm up. I'm at it. I'm working. I'm hitting it hard.
I put them all in my drafts around 2 a.m. and then when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, send.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I get my work done at night, and then I send it all in the morning. So, yeah, a couple people get everything all emailed at them at 8 a.m.
So how much is it, computer work or paperwork? Is there, you actually in the courtroom or, communicating with that child and just having conversations, I assume?
All of the above, yes. You're seeing the children, when she was talking about, the COVID world, it was challenging keeping a 3-year-old on FaceTime, if you can understand.
Oh, yes, I can.
that was a challenging part of it, just because the attention's not there.
Yeah, I have a 4-year-old and a 1.5-year-old and an 8-year-old, but
you definitely understand.
Yeah, I do. They'd be they're gonna close off FaceTime and pull up Blippy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or something else on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're doing all of that computer work, paperwork. Just making sure you got all the details, making sure it's all there, and making sure, like she said, nothing is slipping through the cracks.
So the age ranges is from all over. You said 3 years old, I'm guessing all the way up to 17,
So
18?
0 to 18. You can have a baby that's maybe born addicted to drugs, and that could be one of our cases, a newborn, all the way up through teens, until they are age out of the system. So all age ranges, all children need our attention and care equally. And as far as the time commitment, I just to back up, you had asked about what goes into preparing to become a CASA, and Mickey has gone through an extensive training process to prepare him to do this volunteer work. We have 32 hours of pre-service training that all of our volunteers go through, and I can share that information with everyone about how to find that information. We're also offering virtual information sessions right now that are all twice a month. You can attend an information session to learn more about how to become an advocate. But 32 hours of pre-service training is required for all of our advocates, where they learn all the steps and topics and things that they are going to be experiencing throughout the course of their advocacy. And then we like to tell everyone that it roughly ranges 10 to 15 hours a month is what we like to say this work entails. Everything from visiting your child monthly to keeping in regular contact with their CPS worker, their attorneys, medical professionals, educational professionals, their foster placement. If the parents are in the picture and you've been given permission to connect with the parents, you're maintaining connection with them, meetings, interviews, things like that. You're putting all the puzzle pieces together to learn about your child's life, to figure out what is in their best interest. So that's kind of how we like to break it down as far as the time commitment. There are going to be some volunteers who, at certain times of the month, maybe if they're getting closer to a court hearing, maybe they're putting a little more time. And then there may be times of the month where they don't need to put in as much time if there's nothing specific going on that they're preparing for. So you're going to learn all about that. If you come to attend one of our information sessions, we talk more about it. And then, of course, if you take the next steps and do our training, we get in more depth with all of that.
Is there an ideal candidate to be an advocate? And I'm sure there are advocates from all walks of life, right? What are the qualities that are needed?
21 and older. First of all, everyone has to be 21 and older. We ask for... we're going to ask everyone for 3 non-family references when they apply. You have to be able to pass a background check for all of our applicants. And really, they are all walks of life. In school, out of school, working full-time, retired. It ranges, and we just ask everyone to really do the type of self-reflection that is needed to make sure that they have the time commitment, because this is not your average typical volunteer opportunity. There are many, many noble and noteworthy volunteer causes in our community, so many, but this is different, and this is more. This is, we are serving children that, for the most part, do not have a stable, consistent adult role model figure in their lives. They have this coming and going and coming and going, and just people pulling disappearing acts on them all the time.
Yeah.
And we are meant to be that stable figure. So we would like to be as assured as possible that our volunteers that we bring into our CASA family are in it. like in it for the long haul, and that they are not going to be just another one of those adult figures that disappears.
It's like a pattern, I suppose.
Yes.
It can be a pattern.
So we really would like everyone who considering this to really learn as much as they can about the commitment and ask questions and take the time to think about everything else they have going on in their lives, and really think about if they can commit to what we say is at least 12 to 18 months. 12 to 18 months is the average lifespan of a court case, I'll say. We hope that a child reaches some type of permanency plan within 365 days. That's what a judge hopes. But oftentimes now, especially with the pandemic, our judges are extending cases an extra 6 months. So that's really 18 months. So the minimum commitment, the minimum length that a court case could be drawn out is 18 months. So if you're thinking of a time frame, it's 18 months, 10 to 15 hours a month. That's kind of what we're looking at.
If you're just joining us, this is KHEA Radio, and we're talking to CASA of Galveston County. I have Aaron and I have Mickey in studio. Mickey's an advocate. Aaron is representing CASA, and that's a court-appointed special advocate for children who are not able to, I guess, represent themselves in a way. So this is somebody from outside who is volunteering to be able to put the pieces together. And when it comes to putting together those pieces, Mickey, are you able to talk to other advocates and maybe even bounce off ideas? Because it's like, this is what I see. Maybe you've seen something like this before. Like, help me put this together. Are you able to talk and kind of figure things out?
That is a huge part of our mission. You can't even imagine how many people you have that has more experience than you, or, have had the same situations happen, because each case is different. So like, I may have had that happen, a year ago. Somebody may have had that happen yesterday, so, and there's just so many of us, I'm sure somebody has had that same experience. Or if not, our supervisors or Aaron or Connie, they're like, oh, been there, done that. Here's how it goes down.
Yes.
Someone always knows because someone has had that experience before.
Aaron, you came in, you said February of 2020. So that's right before March, whenever everything started changing. So you had a little bit of experience with CASA, I guess, during a normal time. And so it's not that much, but I guess all of your experience has been during when the pandemic and COVID kind of started. How much has that affected everything that y'all do?
So
has there even been like less volunteers? It seems like that might be a thing as well.
I worked with CASA for 2 weeks, and then we had to close everything down. Our Mickey had the fortunate experience of being able to being trained in person, because our training is normally done in our training room, in our office, in person. It's a very interactive and hands-on training. However, as of March 2020, when everything went remote, we had to convert our training curriculum to be a remote training, and everything was done on Zoom. So my first training was in April of 2020, and every training since has been remote. So I have not done an in-person training since I started. However, that being said, as I said at the beginning of our conversation, we plow forward. We have to get this done. We have to care for these children, and we have to serve them in the way that needs to be done. And so we have made it work. We have had wonderful training classes for the last year and a half. Our curriculum is the same, and I know that our advocates miss the social interaction of being together in person, and but our classes are still like a family. They're just on a Zoom screen. We are still providing a lot of social networking opportunities for them on Zoom whenever possible for them to, like Mickey said, to be able to bounce ideas off each other and talk about their successes and their challenges and things that they are going through throughout the course of their advocacy work. But yes, the COVID has certainly exacerbated the problems that we are facing in the world of child welfare. We are talking about, already strained, unhealthy households that are now facing a lot of additional strain, constraints. You've got financial constraints. You have medical issues that weren't able to be tended to. Certainly last year when kids weren't even in school, you had children who were depending on their nutritional sustenance coming from school, and they weren't in school, so meals weren't even being provided on a regular basis. So we were seeing a dramatic increase in the number of reports of abuse and neglect in Galveston County, and the kids weren't even in school. And when I say that, I mean that teachers, educators are usually the number one reporter for abuse and neglect. And our numbers were going up when teachers and educators weren't even seeing the kids.
They weren't able to even report it or look for the signs that they're trained to see.
And so it has been a tough year and a half for Galveston County. So, which is why we have such an urgent need for more volunteers, for more volunteer advocates. CASA of Galveston County needs between 80 and 100 more volunteers right now to have every case covered by a volunteer. So CASA is automatically appointed to every case that comes through the system, and that has been since 2017. We feel very honored that our work is appreciated so much, and it is a testament to the value of our work that the court appoints us to every case. But if we don't have enough Mickeys, then we have to, our staff has to monitor cases. Our advocate supervisors end up taking on a huge portfolio of cases. So we would prefer it to be done by a volunteer.
And you need an additional 80 to 100 volunteers in the county to be able to step up and take that role. So did Casa start in 2017 or was it before?
No, CASA did not. CASA has in Galveston County, CASA for its first 20 years was actually a part of the Resource and Crisis Center. And then in 2014, we separated and became a separate 501c3. But actually, there are 72 programs in the whole state of Texas, which is amazing. But there are, but as far as Galveston County, it was 2014 is when we separated. And
so the separation in 2014, 2017, the court said this is the best thing to look out for the welfare of the kids and our youth.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So is there any other way? So maybe somebody doesn't have that time that they can commit. Are there other ways that people can help support?
So certainly so prior to the pandemic, we did have some other volunteer opportunities. We don't have as many of those volunteer opportunities right now. There are, I would say, please be on the lookout for our fundraisers that we're doing throughout the year, whether they are, whether this year they end up being virtual or in person again, kind of remains to be seen, but we do a walk. We do, which will most likely be in December, at the beginning of December, but whether or not it's in person or remote, we aren't sure. So donating, of course. If you have someone else, if you aren't able yourself to be a CASA, but you know someone who might be a wonderful volunteer, a wonderful fit for our program, please refer them to us, have them check out our website, have them check out our Facebook page, because that would be wonderful. And word of mouth is huge for us right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mickey, what would you say to somebody who is maybe considering or thinking, or they're on the border like, oh, maybe I should learn more? Should they at least fill out the information? What would you say to them if they're thinking about it or considering it?
If you're thinking about joining CASA, you will never regret it. It's such a eye-opening experience to see the children, to have the children recognize you. I've had multiple children, and to see their smile when the foster parents opened the door, or when COVID came, we couldn't see them face to face, but I'm still like, I need to see my children.
Yeah.
I need to see them. Whether it's I'm talking up from there on the balcony and I'm on the ground, or they're playing on the playground and I'm just watching from my car. You become attached to these children. You've been taking care of these children. You've been watching out for these children. So you definitely, it won't be something you'll soon forget.
That's what I was thinking. Like, it has to make you feel good being able to help these kids out and being that stability, in their life. That has to be a good feeling.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes, we're the only person that they constantly see every single month. Situations change. Foster parents may change, caseworkers may change, lawyers may change, but we're that constant person there every month to see them.
So was 3.5, was that the youngest person that you've been able to be an advocate for?
2. 2 going on to 3, yes. That's my youngest.
What about the oldest?
9. Turning 10.
That's cool. That's a cool range. Just, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's all different. No two kids are the same. Even like I have 3 kids and they're all totally different. So it's just, just thinking, throwing things out there. I don't know. But Aaron, is there anything else that you would like to share about CASA? Remind people how they can get involved, anything at all?
Sure. If there's anyone out there who is interested in learning more or thinks they might be interested in volunteering, I would encourage you to check out our website, check out our Facebook page. We have information sessions twice a month. You can on Zoom right now. So if you're interested in attending one of our upcoming information sessions, I believe the next one is actually October 7th. So you can email my coworker, Casey Warren. She puts out all of the Zoom links. You can email her for the Zoom link, attend the information session, learn more about this incredible opportunity. I highly encourage you to do that. I'm currently doing a training session right now, so our next training will be the end of mid-November. So we do mid-November to mid-December, so we wrap up before the winter holidays. And we offer training roughly every other month. So every other month, we offer the 32 hours of pre-service training, and you can go to casagalveston.org. So casagalveston.org has all of our information about info sessions, about training, how to contact me, how to contact my coworker, Casey, for the links to register for any of these sessions and get more information. And so please, whether it's yourself or someone you know, we would love for you to reach out to us with questions about becoming a volunteer, because we need you.
Do you ever put them in contact with people like Mickey or someone else? If I have some questions, maybe I could talk to some of the advocates and they'd be able to answer that for me.
We try to start with our staff. We try to start with our staff and have them attend these sessions and see where we can go from there. But it's certainly something we could do if
somebody
Mickey's
wanted to
willing
talk.
to do that. Yeah. And so otherwise, that's really where we're at, is the need for more volunteers. We're also, I'll throw it out there, that we're really working to diversify our volunteer pool. We are putting out great efforts in the coming year to think about our more need for African American volunteers, Hispanic volunteers, more men. We need more men, certainly to more mirror the children that we represent. So again, if you know of anyone who you think would be interested in learning more about the work that we do, we are willing to have that conversation with you.
Mickey, is there anything else you'd like to share this morning?
No, I think Aaron has covered it all. It's truly an honor to be a CASA advocate. I have not regretted one decision I've made, nothing. And then to have such great staff members like Aaron and the supervisors and Miss Connie to, pave the way and lead you and teach you. They're always available day, night. And it becomes, like she said, the CASA family. It truly is a family. There's not one time I was like, oh, I have no idea what to do. And nobody was immediately like, oh, well, let's talk about it. Let's
do
brainstorm.
This.
Yeah.
Do this. Okay.
Just to wake up and, just like, let's see what I need to get done today to, help further or to help make the future of whatever children you have look better or, seem better. I mean, like I said, just the smile on their faces when they get adopted or, the little kids don't understand it as much, but to see the smiles on those bigger kids when they finally get adopted and they know they're going to be with this person that's been taking care of them for the rest of their life, it's truly an amazing experience.
This is KHEA Radio. We've been talking to CASA of Galveston County, and I believe you said it was casagalveston.org?
Yes.
casagalveston.org to find out more information, request information, give them a call, and see how you can get involved. Thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you for having us.
It's KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM.